change things or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it seems like a lot of people have this idea that they want everyone to change to be, not to be like them, but they want everybody to be a certain way. Like they wish that their society was different. They wish that people didn't live in such a materialistic way or something like that. You know, they wish that more people would
think more progressively,
yeah,
or more forward thinking, or think, you know, maybe quote more spiritually, and they just sit there, you know, kind of going, oh, society today, they're so messed up. I wish, you know, people would just change some more. But the thing is, like,
they spend a lot of time dwelling on that, and they worry themselves about that, or they, you know, I guess get stressed out about their situation and you know, among everybody else, and they wish that everyone would be this way. But all that they really ever needed to do was just, you know, take control of their own life and take responsibility for what they are doing.
And what works.
And they can do that. They can become the person, like the example, I guess, you know, that they want everybody else to be. They can just start living in that way, and they don't need to go out and try to help
or teach people, or
try to
start
teach
a following or something like that. There's no need, because really, like, when you're doing that, you're just creating another dogma, another, you know, follow me, I'm the leader, I can show you the way. But just by doing it yourself, you're showing people everything they could ever need. You know, like, they see you happy, they see you doing your thing, and people can recognize that, like, when they see someone who's glowing, who's just like,
yeah,
you know, really into their own zone, I guess, and they want to be like that. They want to, like, oh, what are they doing that I'm not doing? And what you're doing really is just being yourself, you know,
yeah,
following your own agenda.
When you become that change that you wanted to see, then people can actually see that it works. You know, they can see that you're successful, I guess, in your, you know, in your life. You're doing everything that's making you happy, and you're really happy. They can see how happy you are. They can see, you know, they think maybe I want that, and then maybe they'll change. But you don't need to actually, like, suggest that they change or try to
be a messenger.
try to influence their life. You know, even if it feels like you're helping. I mean, there's nothing wrong with helping people, but trying to teach people or trying to get everybody onto the same information that you are, you know, trying to, like, spread it and you know, get everybody else into, like, doing what you're doing, it's unnecessary, because, like, nobody needs to be doing the same things. Nobody needs to be trying to influence each other in that way. I mean, trying to, like, it's not even about taking control, I guess. It's just, they don't need to try to, you don't need to want anybody else to be something other than who they are, you know? If everybody is just doing what they want to do, whether they're being, you know, spiritual or not, whether they're, like, doing things that you wouldn't do, it doesn't matter, you know, because that's what they wanted to do. As long as everybody just takes control of their own life and do what makes you happy and do the things that make you excited and all that.
You're changing something right there.
That's
pretty much.
Yeah, like, that's what this is all about. Just doing, you know, why would you spend your life trying to control other people's lives anyway? Why would you not spend every moment that you have here doing what you want to do and doing what makes you happy? Because you're not going to be here forever, you know?
And what happens a lot too is when people try to go and teach someone something, or say, okay, look, this is the way, you know, follow me, I'll show you, you know, just be like me and it'll be okay, or whatever. You're kind of creating this idea of, you know, okay, this is the messenger, let's follow this person, they know what they're doing. Or, you know, people kind of get attached to the idea of someone being a leader, and the message goes unheard. It's not like, oh, okay, be yourself, yeah, I'm gonna do that, then they go off and do that. It's like, oh, yeah, what else do you have to say? What other wisdom must you impart to us? And then you kind of just lose the whole purpose of whatever the message was in the first place, which is, exactly, you know, pretty much there when you just are being who you are.
Because the whole thing about one person trying to teach people like that, or, you know, like, you're trying to help people, I guess, but there's that's the risk, is that they do hear what you're saying, and it's still, like, you still are helping them in a way, I guess, you know, spreading your message, but it's that they thank you so much for giving it to them. Like, thank you for helping us, you know, you're, like, our savior, you know, like.
And they become dependent on you know, instead of trying to figure things out for themselves. It's not like.
Because, yeah, like, the way that, like, they changed as a result of your help, not, like, they did not help themselves, like, you helped them, so now they think they need to go back to you for more, like, how else can you help us?
Yeah.
But
what else can you do for me? I don't know how to do it myself. You're the master at this, you know?
Yeah, like, I mean, it could have been a good thing.
To just jumpstart something, maybe. But
like, it feels like a good thing because you started them on this path, or, like, the search for knowledge or something like that. But if the start was out of them being helped, they're always going to look for help, you know? If when people start it on their own, and they, you know, they start all this searching for answers or whatever, they start this change in their life on their own terms, like as a result of their own free will, then that's how they're always going to go through their entire life. They're always going to be helping themselves and
because
doing that. They're not going to keep looking for more books to read for somebody else to teach them something. Or, not that that's a bad thing, but I mean it's a bad thing to rely on that and like
use it as a tool, but not as the means of your learning or your growth or your progress within yourself. Because really, whatever outside information you get, it can only ever be that, just something outside of you. You know, like it might work for you. It works for whoever made it up or wrote it, but ultimately something works for you, and that's inside you, you know? I guess. And what were we gonna talk about?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of something else.
Like how also having that mentality where you're thinking, oh, I wish the world would stop, you know, dwelling on these disasters, or I wish the world would stop talking about how messed up the economy is, and instead start, you know, thinking about positive things, progressive things, about, you know, renewable resources, or about, you know, just doing what makes you happy. Really, you don't have to sit around and wish for society to be a certain way, because, like we said before, just having that thought or just having that action and doing what you want makes it part of the collective unconscious, makes it part of, you know, the pool of information that exists on, you know, a higher realm, if you want to call it that, and from which everyone can access it, really, because once it's there, once the idea or something has been imagined, it can be created. It just creates more and more opportunities, not just for you to create, but for anybody else on this earth to pick up on some, you know, subtle subconscious level and create. So just
I mean, it's like once you imagine something, it becomes possible.
Becomes real.
Like, you don't, I mean, it's always great to create things, you know, actually create changes, like physical changes and do things, but even just thinking about things, considering new ideas, or considering like just like thoughts of a change, or it's making it possible. It's like making that possible, like, I don't know, it's making that possibility real so that it can be fulfilled. Like you're extending the boundaries of what can be possible just by thinking about things, just by using your imagination. Like that, and you know, that combined with actually like creating things and making real changes in your life is probably the best thing that you can do. If you do want people to change, I would see that as like a better method than trying to actually go out and like teach people your lessons or something, or trying to spread information, you know?
Yeah. Just kind of living within your own, or actually
I mean, just changing your own reality. You don't need to try to...
Yeah, changing your own reality will create the opportunity and the ability for others to change theirs.
Yeah.
Because also, it's like a lot of us, you know, we're all connected energetically, like I said before, there's the collective unconscious, right? And when, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of, what's it called, the threshold? You've crossed mass, you know what I'm talking about?
Critical mass?
Critical mass, yeah, you've heard of critical mass.
Yeah.
The idea of, like, you know, the planet being beforehand dominantly a little bit more negative, and now it's kind of shifting into where we're a little bit more positive. So just by creating your own reality, you're also like, you're making triggers and you're raising the level of the collective unconscious of all of humanity, really. So just by doing your own thing, you are literally allowing like other, you know, possibilities to be unlocked or unleashed in terms of, I guess, the level of consciousness of all of humanity. It's like maybe a certain amount, like a certain level needs to be reached, and you're adding to that level just by doing your own thing. There's no need to, like, you can't like put, you know, your consciousness into a pool, like go to the community center and say, oh, here's my knowledge, here, let's evolve, you know? It just kind of, you're doing everything you can, or you're doing so much just by living within your own happiness.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess someone might think of it as maybe being like selfish, because we're talking about like just doing everything that's right for you. But if everybody was doing what was right for them, everyone was doing what made them happy, then everything would be fine, and there wouldn't be any like disagreements or something like that, or any problems with it. You know, there wouldn't be anything that needed to be fixed. It's when people try to say
impose
I'm
on
right and you're wrong,
others.
or like this way is better, or something.
Where you get an issue.
That's creates this like, yeah, this conflicts and just like it's overcomplicating everything.